Alright guys, welcome to the Media Hijack Podcast. I'm your host, Billy Walters, and joining me is Chris, Unholy Jesus.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Media Hijack, episode number 120.
Damn, for real?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
We moving, man. We moving right along.
Oh my god.
Our third podcast. We're a part of the 1% of people who still continues podcasts.
That is true, man. I told you the other day, another podcast I was listening to was saying, you're not a true podcaster unless you're like in your second or third one now, because things happen, people get beef, breakups happen.
And you have to get over 20 episodes.
Yes.
Because usually, like, people, they think they can keep talking about subjects and stuff. But then after, like, 10 episodes, they're like, man,
what else
it feels like a job.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this shit's not fun no more.
Actually, I gotta take time out of my day to do shit.
And look at us. Like, it's like a cakewalk. 7 days of research.
Straight up.
Like a cakewalk.
I take time out of my day to read something about some topic that's going to be on the show. Always,
yeah. I'm always out on the search for new topics and stuff because I listen to a lot of like talk radio and stuff. So
that's all. It's gotten to a point where I realized I don't even listen to music when I drive. It's all
I don't anymore.
Talk radio type shit now.
Yeah,
this is the wave I'm on.
Everything is interesting to me.
Hell yeah,
because I'm always thinking about the show.
Yes, I'm like
always.
I'm like, this would be a good topic, or at least something to bring up one day on the show.
Yep. All right, guys. So don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Give us that 5 stars on iTunes, and don't forget to visit our YouTube page. You need some help. And if you guys want some shirts, some jackets, some stickers, head over to themediahijack.com. Grab you some merchandise.
Hell yeah.
All right, so let's get started. All right, so I'm Billy Waters, and welcome to my TED Talk. Today, I'm going to be talking about the Mushroom Kingdom, a.k.a. it's known as the Fifth Kingdom, because, you know, way back then, they were trying to categorize mushrooms as like a fruit. But it's not a fruit. So they're like, hey, this is not really a fruit. So they're like, you know, give it its own kingdom.
So why a fruit? Just because the seed
back
placement?
then, because they didn't really understand how complex the mushroom kingdom is.
Okay.
So they're like, yeah, just put it in fruit. But then later, I think like in the 60s, they're like, no, this is like, it deserves its own little kingdom. Mm-hmm. So now it's known as like the Fifth Kingdom, which a lot of people, they don't know.
Now they do.
So now, like, if I make a YouTube channel, the Fifth
Kingdom.
Yeah, that's just lit.
Oh, that's a good ass name too.
Hell yeah. All right, so today we're gonna be talking about medicinal mushrooms.
There you go.
And then later maybe like psychedelics, because I know you got an article on psychedelics, right?
Yeah, just the future of where it's going.
Yeah.
As far as like people being able to vote on if psychedelics should be legalized and should be, you know, should the general public be able to have access to it?
They should. They just need to be educated on it. Yeah, so it can be a lot
monitored.
So, you know, like the transition be a lot easier. You know? It's not as bad as you think. Karens and Todds and Rods.
Hell yeah.
It's not that scary. Shellshock says, isn't the Mushroom Kingdom in Adventure Time? Is it? I don't know.
I don't remember. All
right, let's get back on this mushroom. All right, so fungi. So fungi has been here for over billions of years ago. Billions with a B, right?
With a B.
They've been here way before us. They probably been here way before even the aliens. So, you know, like when the aliens, they showed up on Earth, right? They're like, who the fuck are you guys? Like, we're the fun guys.
we're here to it's not like they're about to throw a party.
Yeah. They was like, all right, cool. We're going to set base. But yeah, so fungi, they've been here for a long time. Basically, maybe since Earth was being formed, like they were there, they saw everything. This is why I think like fungi, mycelium, the whole network, the whole Earth network, with all these roots, they know the true story of Earth.
Because they've been here the longest?
They've been here the longest. They've seen everything.
If we could talk to them, they would, they'd be stories. Like, the stories.
How much time do you have? We made a clip for you guys so you guys can see, like, you know, everything in fast, you know, in fast forward motion and shit. Yeah. So like fungi, another fun fact about it, They said that every time when you inhale anywhere you're at, outside, inside, you're inhaling like 10 different species of spores, fungi spores.
I can imagine,
Yeah. And then when you come in this house, you might be inhaling a little bit more.
A little bit more than outside?
Yeah. This house is a little special, so you might be getting more than like thousands of spores like when you're inhaled in this house.
The recommended dosage.
Yeah, from all these other different kingdoms of the mushroom network and shit. Yeah, so don't be inhaling in this house because you'll get a big whiff of that.
You're gonna feel it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got. Okay, so fungi, like it's known to be the decomposers of this planet.
Yeah.
So whenever anything dies, fungi they take over. They break it down, and then everything goes back into nature. Mm-hmm. So we need it basically.
Yeah, it's essential for sure.
Because imagine like if this planet didn't have fungi and the mycelium breaking stuff down. When you die, nobody's breaking that shit down. So your body's just there. Nothing is eating it up or nothing.
Somebody just sitting in a coffin, you mean? Or?
Yeah, you just be like right there, just a rotting dead body. Like this earth wouldn't even survive if nothing was breaking it down.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah, best like because it'd be weird. It'd be shit up. Especially where like when the body decomposes and all the toxins and stuff in it, it'd be something's got to break it down.
Yeah. So thank God for
you return to the earth.
Yeah, this is why I'm saying why it's so important that people know about this stuff, because like this stuff is like a part of our whole life. We just ignored it. A lot of people don't really know like the main functions of what it's doing like in the background. But that shit's important, dude. They're saying like they discovered like 2.5 like million type of like fungi species, and only 100,000 has been named out of like 2.5 million species.
So there's still like not even enough.
They barely even tapped.
Yeah, this is like they're not even really into it yet. This is new.
It's still young. That's why like if you want to become like a mycologist and stuff, then study fungi, naming all these new species of mushrooms. You got a job for a long time.
Yeah,
and they get paid a lot of money too.
That was my next question. I'm like, do they get paid for something?
They get paid a lot.
Because it's probably the rarity of.
That's like 150 to 200,000.
Holy shit.
That's what I looked at. I was like, they get paid that much?
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that, man. I thought that would have been like a very
and they're out in nature just discovering like new types of species mushroom, and then they get to name it too.
Damn, they're probably out there with backpacks and shit and hiking boots and just
they got the little
just go
their foraging hat and stuff, and they're just out there
collecting samples and shit. And
what are you doing out here? I'm working. Found a new species of this mushroom that has it's like bioluminescent, so it glows in the dark. Oh. So they found like maybe 100 to 200 different species of mushrooms that actually glow in the dark and stuff.
What?
So this one guy, right, he found like these type of mushrooms out like in the wild. So he took like the spore print from it so he can try to grow it at home, see if he can replicate, these bioluminescent mushrooms.
Yeah.
So he was able to grow the mushrooms, and then he got it like in the dark, and guess what? It started glowing in the dark. He took a picture. I was like, holy shit. Proof. You can cultivate like these glowing mushrooms. You don't even need nature. You can do it inside your house.
Damn, that's like natural. That's real natural light. That is
insane. And I was like, wow, that's fucking awesome, dude.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So like how I said like like the whole mycelium network is like the Earth's brain. It's basically like the neural network of like the whole Earth.
Yeah.
Because if you take like a picture like of your brain, right, and you look at all the little connection stuff, it looks like
very
like
similar.
A big network. Yeah, it looks very similar.
It's like with like nerves, like the nerves.
Yeah, with the nerve cells growing out, the neuron and stuff, like roots and stuff. It looks like mycelium, but we're like the organic, like walking version.
Yeah, the walking version of it. That's the more condensed version, I guess. But it's still
the whole Earth.
But it's still the entire damn planet.
Almost the entire whole planet. Ugh.
Hell yeah, that's why every time like when I'm helping my parents clean the backyard and I see roots and stuff, I'm like, man, it looks like a nervous system every time I look at it. Like,
that's all mycelium. They're like every time like you step on the floor, like when you touch mycelium, it's like 300 miles of mycelium network.
Shit.
Like every step you take, every move you make, you're gonna be walking on like a mycelium network. Yeah, it's like the World Wide Web basically.
Connection.
They can tell you what happened all the way down there on 5th Street, all the way in Colorado. Like, remember I was telling you how, like, I felt like mushrooms were following me all the way to work? Mm-hmm. Because I will park at this one spot at my job, and right in front of my car, it'd be like the mushrooms just grow right in front of my car. So I thought I was being followed. Yeah.
Mushrooms are watching you. There's this thing in, so I'm not going to, this thing with comic books again. There's this thing in DC comic books called the Green, right? And basically any character in DC comic books that has the ability to control plant life or whatever, manipulate it, all their powers connected to a power source called the Green. And the Green is like the ultimate source of like nature and all this other stuff. For example, this is a character called Swamp Thing who's able to use the Green to the point where he does like this weird teleportation where like he's like a swamp like tentacle, not tentacle, but like a plant creature. He'll sink it to the ground and then he'll he'll regrow like in Japan.
Damn.
And it's like because it's all like this.
Connected.
It's like a nervous system that he can able to travel through.
Damn.
It's like almost like teleportation via like roots and shit. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, they're all just talking to each other.
Yeah, it's communication. Like he'll talk to plants like, "Hey, what happened? You see somebody got murdered? What happened?" Oh, I talking to plants and shit. Dude,
it's like the World Wide Web.
Dude, connected.
I'll be like, "Hey, Chris, did you see that shit that happened in New York, like 9/11 and shit?" And you know, she says all the planes that hit the back.
Like, yeah, man.
And I was in Georgia, and I was like, "Hey, you saw that?" It's like that, right? Yeah. Like we're all connected.
We all connected,
like
and we all seen it.
Shell Shock says, every time I think about mushrooms, I think about fairy rings and how they will fuck you up one day.
Fairy rings?
Yeah, it will fuck you up one day because they'll eat your body up right when you die. They don't discriminate, you know. Mushrooms, they break you down piece by piece.
Oh, everybody. Rich, poor.
Yeah, they break you down. Like, you know, when you lay down, you're all the same size. Like, here's another, like, fun fact, like, about mushrooms. Like, remember that oil spill, the BP oil spill? Like, what they did, they got, like, a bunch of oyster mushroom spores, and they had it grown on top of, like, the, you know, the oil spills and stuff. And all the mushrooms absorbed all that shit. Clean up that whole ocean. Like, absorbing it. Like, they suck it up, and then they
the oil
created, like, fresh oyster mushrooms. Yeah. Oh. Cleaned up the whole oil spill.
And then this is with mushrooms, you said, right?
Oyster mushrooms, yep. I think it was oyster mushrooms. It's one of those mushrooms where it's edible. You can still eat it. But it produced, like, fresh mushrooms. Like, the mushrooms absorbed all the oil, cleaned it up, boom, and then they grow, like, perfectly fresh oyster mushrooms.
Mushrooms are kind of spongy, too, in type of ways. I can see it.
Yeah, some.
Just absorbing that shit somehow.
Yep, absorbed all of it. And I was like, damn, these mushrooms, their job is to clean this earth up.
Nature's wild, man. How they able to just... It knows how to fix itself for the damage that we do to it.
And we do a lot of damage.
We do a whole lot of damage to a point where I think most people on this planet would agree that we are probably detrimental to the health of Mother Nature on so many levels.
We be getting in trouble, too, and that's why they be punishing us sometimes.
Y'all done ran this planet to the damn ground.
Guy is like, what you guys do? All right, okay. Hurricane coming your way.
That's a big-ass one.
Big-ass hurricane, so you guys get lit up. All right, what other fun facts we have about this mycelium? So there's like there's an experiment that they did for the Japanese subway system, where they had like this diagram map of all the major cities in Tokyo. Yeah. So they put they put food on every single like major city. They put like a piece of food right on all the major cities, and then they put the mycelium and let it grow out on its own. So the mycelium, they grew out to all these cities, and then they brought all their they regrow back, and then they grow back into like the fastest way they can reach the food source. It's almost like they made like the perfect tunnel to these different food sources. Oh. So the Japanese people, they use that diagram of the mycelium, and they're saying this is the perfect way we should run like our whole network for the subway, where it could reach like the best possible, pathway for you'd hit this city. It's like the best way you could do a subway system.
Oh, and they used it. Oh, shit.
So they
based it off of that.
Based it off of like the mycelium and how they know the best way to go to these certain like cities.
Oh,
holy shit! So it's like less traffic. Like mycelium, they had like the best routes and everything.
It's like using nature as like a blueprint to create a network for
like the perfect subway system for the underground subway for like Japan.
Holy shit!
So like, hey, they look at it like, yeah, this would be a faster way and a better way for us to get from point A to point be if we use the same, the same channel that the mycelium used.
Holy shit! So all the trains are going like mycelium routes.
Yeah, it's because they picked the best route. They picked the best route. Like first they found the food source, and they're like, all right, we're gonna regroup, but then we're gonna plan like the best route.
That's dope. I like that. That's actually
so. There's like they're intelligent, man, super intelligent.
God damn,
these super intelligent fungi, man.
Damn, that's the structure of everything on this planet. It makes me wonder so much. Of how much does it know? Is it self-aware of what's going on?
100%. They're our elders, dude. We should bow down to them. Even though we bow down to them on the ground, like we're still not low enough. Our head is too high. Yeah, that's why we gotta get buried. To show our ultimate respect, we have to bury ourselves.
Not in a box, like just straight body to dirt.
Another fun fact: they found a fossilized mycelium over 2.4 billion years ago. So like I was saying, like they've been here way longer than all of us, even the aliens. And then they said 113 billion. I don't know where they're getting these numbers from, but they're saying 113 billion year old. They found like a fossilized mushroom in Brazil.
What?
Yep.
This is a big mushroom?
I don't know if it's big or not. But how do you date something in the billions of years?
Oh man, I always thought it may have been, if they're digging it up, it would have to be the depth and the type of rock around it, I guess, and shit. I don't know.
But still, how would you test like an organism and then say, oh, it says it's 113 billion years old? I'm like,
I don't know.
It's hard to trust that.
I don't know. I always figured you'd have like I don't know. Just I always figured it was just maybe just with the rock surrounding it. I guess the depth they got to dig deep, because sometimes like you're not gonna find this shit on the surface of right now. Like you're not gonna find like anything. You're not gonna find anything a billion years old on the surface of the earth right now. It's gonna be, you have to dig for that shit. And I'm assuming they probably gonna go through the history of the area. It was kind of had earthquakes or any kind of droughts or rain or anything like that. And then based off the time of what the rocks may look like, and I think you got to take consideration the environment of where it's at to be able to determine. Because like I said, anything that's existed a billion years right now on Earth is not on the level. It's not on the surface. It's gonna be deep under. They probably got to dig for that shit. That's what I would say.
Yeah, because how far is the dinosaurs?
Was that 72 billion? I don't know.
Still in the billions?
Oh yeah, it's like a million years ago. I think it's like in the millions of years ago. Yeah, I think it's in the millions.
It might be in the billions.
Billions is too far, I think.
I don't know.
Billions would be like, I don't think anything was alive on this planet a billion years ago.
What about trillion years?
Who?
And God is like, hey, slow down. Hey, slow down. I just got my new computer. God is like, hold on.
Pump the brakes.
He's like, I'm still learning how to code.
Whoa.
Trying to build this new simulation and shit. I'm gonna call it Earth.
Earth.
It's where souls go to learn. And they're gonna be so confused. They're gonna be so confused when they come to this planet.
They're gonna be confused for centuries.
Yeah, it's they're saying Earth, it's like a planet you come to learn, right? That's why these babies, they come out here crying. But then when they grow up as kids, right? What do kids usually do? They just all they want to do is have fun.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're coming back here again, or you're new to Earth. Everything is like a playland for you. You're like, hey, oh shit, everything's so fun, until you get like indoctrinated, like the school system.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if you don't learn this, man, you're gonna be a bum.
You ain't gonna be shit in life if you don't go to college.
You don't graduate. You don't know how to read. It's gonna be hard. Like, damn, this shit is gonna be hard. Whatever dreams you have right now, might put that on the back burner. Get your life straight first.
You gotta do as we say.
And then like
you have to go in debt first.
Yeah, and then they listen, right? They go to college to get a really good job and stuff, but then they forget about their dream they had when they were a kid. Because they're so used to that job that pays a lot of money. So then that soul never actually got out to live out the dream. And then that person old on the deathbed, right? And then they have all these regrets, like, man, I should have quit that job. I should have chased like whatever dream that I had, like when you were a child, to become like a farmer or whatever.
A farmer is a kid.
Who knows? A farmer, astronaut, I don't know.
A farmer is such hard work.
Chase your dreams.
I would assume the farmer is probably one of the hardest jobs on the planet. There's so much to take care of.
That's an example.
But
life could be that easy.
But yeah, that's what you're saying. It's a dream that you have, regardless.
Yeah. Or a dancer. I don't know.
Yeah.
A pop star singer.
But if you got to pay bills, you can't have dreams.
Yeah.
That's the reality of a lot of that shit is sometimes. So many things I want to do in life. I'm like, man, this shit ain't gonna pay bills.
You could do it, so you're already sleeping on it. You're still a human with 2 legs.
I don't even know what I want to do. I'm just trying to pay bills. I am in that system. I realize I'm a cog in a machine.
You're aware.
I'm aware of this.
Yeah.
But man, anything else on the?
Yeah, I got more, but
yeah.
I have to take a leak. But when I come back, I'm gonna be talking about like this new formula stacking technique with mushrooms.
Formula stacking?
Yeah, like stacking, like in a game.
What?
To get your stats up. And I have the recipe too, and I'm on it right now. You're back, and we're back. All right, so I'm gonna talk about mushroom stacking. All right, so what exactly is stacking mushrooms? So there's this guy. His name is Paul Stamet. He's a renowned mycologist and expert of all things pertaining to mushrooms.
All right.
In the world of medicinal mushrooms, he's one of the most respected guys like in this field. One of the most well educated in mycology and the study of fungi and all that stuff.
So he's the go-to guy for.
He's like the man. Like if you're into like anything with mushrooms, you should know who Paul Stamet is. So.
Okay.
And his story is crazy because he had like this stuttering thing, like where he couldn't talk to females or nothing like that, or people in general. And then one day, he took he bought so much mushrooms from like the local dealer, like a handful, maybe well over 10 grams for sure. And his like inexperience back then, like when he was young, so he ate all the mushrooms. He didn't even know how much he ate. He ate all the mushrooms, and then he started climbing the tree, which is a no-no.
Climbing the tree?
Climbing like the tree, because he's in the woods right now.
Oh, okay. So he's in the woods when he took the...
When he took all the shrooms.
Shit.
Guaranteed over 10 grams. He took all the shrooms, then he started climbing the tree. Right when he got to the top of the tree, it started raining. Thunderstorm. This dude's like, holy shit. He said, like, he was so high on shrooms, right? He said he saw the waves of the thunder and the lightning. Like, he saw the waves of it.
They, like, struck.
Like, ripples, yeah. Ripples, like, breaking through the clouds. He was like, holy shit. And then, I think lightning struck the tree so loud. Like, I think he kind of, like, went deaf. Man, I might be, like, butchering the story a little bit.
So he went deaf up there?
But long story short, like, he made it out alive.
Yeah.
He went down the tree, and the next day he saw, the crush that he had a crush on, the girl, where before he couldn't even make a sentence out to talk to her. Everything came out clear. He didn't stutter or nothing. Like, the way he talked was super clear now. He don't stutter, nothing. All his words just flow out like like an audiobook.
So smooth.
Yeah, and then long story short, like he ended up marrying that girl.
Damn.
Paul Stamet.
After the trip.
After that wild mushroom trip, don't ever, if you take shrooms, dude,
sit down.
Don't dare climb a tree.
Sit down.
Ain't nobody got time to watch you.
Sit down. I know some people don't want to take it and go hiking. I'm like, we just.
Well, if you take like a little small dose,
yeah, that's usually like,
okay.
Yeah, I know somebody who does it, but it'd be like small doses. It's not like anything
like a gram.
Like that you gotta like plan a day around type shit. So it's not like one of those.
Not if you're tripping. Like if you take over 3 grams, I don't know. Maybe you still can do it if you're experienced.
Yeah. Like
me, I can do it. I know what 3 grams does to me, so I can do it. Okay, so Paul Stamet, right? He had this famous TED Talks, I think way back, 2017 or something like that. I think way before that. He had a TED Talk where at the end of the TED Talk, he was talking about how these mushrooms, like it really helped his mom, because his mom had like 4th stage breast cancer.
Oh. The
doctor was like, you ain't gonna get out of this shit, But then they're trying to refer her to like take like, because there's new studies on turkey tail mushrooms, where he was saying like, yeah, if you can get a hold of anybody that studies like turkey tail mushrooms, like try to get on that treatment.
Yeah.
And she was like, what are the odds? My son Paul, he's actually like studying like turkey tail mushrooms and actually cultivating it. So then, she told her son that. He was like, oh, shit, I'll get you on this program right now. So he started putting his mom on the turkey tail mushroom therapy and stuff. I think like a few months, or maybe like 6 months later or something like that, completely cancer-free.
Holy shit.
And then his mom is like in her 90s too. So, like they
what?
didn't. Yeah. So then she walked up on the stage happy, telling her story, and I was like, cancer-free. I was like, holy shit.
At 90?
Everybody was crying. Even I was crying. I was like, damn, that's a real story.
You would think that'd be a death sentence at 90, man. Like,
yeah.
Sneezing at 90 is a death sentence, I would think. Like, that
scary.
is, holy shit.
Because, like, with her being that old, and the doctor's like, yeah, we can't put you on chemo. That's going to just kill you right away.
Yeah, that's just...
all you're doing is just destroying all the cells.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you eat a turkey tail. And then she got cancer-free, and she's, like, living her life. I don't even know if she's still alive right now, but she lived strong at the end.
Oh, man. It's like years ago. I think this might have been before I was born. Like, my mom, she used to work up at this some kind of social security office, right? And one of her coworkers had been diagnosed with cancer at the time. This is like back in the 80s. And maybe like late 70s, early 80s, I think it was. But I remember my mom telling me a story, right? And so the guy that was diagnosed with cancer, he wasn't going to chemotherapy treatments. He was going through like a medicinal marijuana treatments for it. And it was helping him deal with it. It was a better alternative. I guess it was trying like an experimental phase somewhere at the clinic or wherever they was at nearby. And just trying to see like, hey, what's the other alternative other than chemo? Because chemo is, yeah, it stops cancer, but it destroys the cells a lot. And what other alternatives they have. And yeah, one of the coworkers that she was working with was saying like, yeah, I've been diagnosed with cancer and I'm currently going through this program. It was basically like a program to see, hey, like we need to test out medicinal like marijuana. What's the effects of marijuana on cancer? And over time, like she was like, yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. Like it's better than going through chemo because I'm not throwing up or I'm not feeling drained all the time. I'm not losing my hair. And eventually, you want being cleared of it, of having cancer. But yeah, she was always telling me like, yeah, I'm going through this program. That she didn't believe it at first because it was like new to the scene. This is like back in the day where people was just experimenting with it. The medicinal use of marijuana was never a thing at the time, at least not publicly a big thing. But it was something that was being experimented on at the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of positive effects, like with all those psychoactive drugs, like with marijuana, psilocybin and stuff. Mm-hmm. Which I think, like, as far as like humans or like, I'm gonna just say in America itself, like we're way behind on the study of like psychoactive medicine.
Oh, for sure, man. I think a lot of the countries are ahead of that shit.
And you can blame like the government system for that. How they stopped like the education of these type of drugs like way back, like what was it, like after World War II, and after the LSD stuff, like they banned all that shit. They banned all like the studies because they were actually back then like when they were doing the studies, like they were making like breakthroughs like in like treating mental patients using psychedelics. And they're like, hey, like we're onto something, this is like a thing. But then they stopped all the studies like back in like 60s or 70s and shit, making it was illegal and stuff like that. So they pretty much like they set humanity back, or I'm gonna say they set America back, like I will say over 30 years in research and these type of drugs.
Yeah, because a lot of that shit too, they probably didn't want to fund, and if you got no funding for the government, it's kind of hard to keep a program going. Yeah,
or even doing the studies like in universities and stuff, because like, oh no, you can't study that. That's like woo woo. That's like forbidden, like taboo,
satanic type whatever shit they want to make up to not want to fund it.
They're like, no, you can't study that. Government, that shit rot your brain. But now you fast forward to today, like people are like, holy shit, 20, 30 years down the drain of research.
We on the wave now.
Now we're trying to catch up and shit. Now Shell Shock says, my mom has cancer and we've all been trying to get her on medicinal, but Texas sucks and she still has to work for the police department. That's wild,
man. Yeah, that's why like
I thought Texas was like the free state.
Man, no, the South
its own
is
country.
No, they act like it. Texas is like them states that man, I'm not gonna lie, I met a lot of people from Texas, a lot of good people from Texas, but my consensus of how a lot of people think from it, a lot of people, sorry for any Texas listeners, but this is my consensus of how it is. It is a very knucklehead state. They kind of think they're above everyone else. They have this weird rivalry that they created in their mind too against California. That like California's not a better state. We're more self-sufficient, but California's proven to be way more self-sufficient than Texas. But Texas has this very weird. Shellshock says it's a shithole. A lot of times, some people call it the big brother to Florida. It's a very strange state. They have a very strong Southern ties of good old boy shit and the devil's lettuce. We hate it, and it's like that. The whole South is like that. To be honest, a huge chunk of the South is like that. If you ever want to live anywhere where it's progressive, especially when it comes to stuff like this, South is not the spot for it. It really ain't.
You gotta hold your tongue.
You got to.
All right, so back to Paul Stamet. Like, back to what I was saying about stacking mushrooms. So basically what he's doing, he's stacking like 3 different type of mushroom strains. And it's like a microdosing stacking formula. And the purpose of this formula that I'm about to tell you guys is to upregulate neurogenesis. Like, in other words, it increased the connections of like our brains. Like, our neural connections is making more connections.
Yeah.
It's like getting rid of like old patterns like in your brain, and your brain is creating new pathways. Like, it's regenerating like neural pathways in your brain.
Okay.
And the exact formula stacking technique, you guys might want to take a pencil down and write this down. There's like 3 pieces to it. One of it is psilocybin mushrooms. Like, you can take like 0.5 grams of that. Then lion's mane mushroom.
Lion's mane.
That
sounds dope.
You can buy that from Amazon. You can go to CVS, they might have it. But you can buy lion's mane like pill form. And then the third one is like just B3 vitamins.
What is that?
It's like vitamins like they say it's like good for your skin, but why he's saying like this works within this formula is because like B3 vitamins, it opens up like the blood circulation,
oxygen flow.
So like the psilocybin can do its work, and the lion's mane is known for like a study for the brain. Like, if you're trying to study for a test, you take lion's mane because it calms the mind, and then it rejuvenates it. It makes your brain work better.
Damn, I need some lion's mane shit.
Yeah, I got some.
Damn, I need some of that shit. My brain be feel like there's be too much going on.
Yeah, so like lion's mane is like good for the brain, and then mix that with psilocybin, and then mix that with B3.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate formula for like rejuvenating like the neuron networks in your brain.
So B3 opens up the airways, but the blood flow, which is oxygen and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it helps the psilocybin get through the system better, which makes a whole lot of damn sense.
And it makes the lion's mane get in there, do its work.
And the lion's mane helps it focus on, I guess, with the
yeah,
mind.
it's like the ultimate like creative juices, like the most natural way to do it. And then if you take like this stacking formula, like usually like when you take it, you're not supposed to feel nothing because it's like microdoses.
Yeah.
It's not like you're taking like an amount to where you actually feel an effect. It's like you take it like 3 to 4 days a week, and then you take a couple of days off, but you do it for like a month or 2 months.
Yeah.
Then that's when you get the real benefits. It's like working out. Like you work out for a day, you're not gonna lose weight like that.
No, you gotta
it's over time. You have to
a regimen or a schedule.
Yeah, you have to do it like every day, 3-4 times a week. And I just started the program yesterday.
Okay, so day 1. All right.
Yep.
Day 1.
I already feel clean too. Like
already?
Yeah.
So
even yesterday, I was like, I'm not supposed to feel nothing, but why my brain feels so clear? Like, like it gets rid of this. It gets rid of foggy brain.
Oh man, that's what I need.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, the windows are clear. It's like somebody wiped the windows.
I be having foggy brain. Like I had COVID. I was like, man, I be forgetting shit all the time. That's why I be like, Joe, me and Siri be like this. she is my assistant with scheduling shit and everything.
She's that go-to.
I use and abuse her.
He says like over like 2-3 weeks of you taking it, you can see improvements in creativity, cognition, PTSD, regeneration of neurons, including auditory and visual neurons. So like your visual and your hearing gets better. It says people will want to become like a better citizen, more productive in their society.
Yeah, we need more.
And like all forms of like neuropathy, nerve damage.
All right.
It fixes nerve damage. So like if you're like a crackhead, drug head, whatever, you've been killing brain cells. Guess what? You know how they say you don't get your brain cells back? Hey, you might want to get on this stacking formula where it can rejuvenate that and build like your new little connection.
And that's through the lion's mane, I'm assuming, just as brain.
Do lion's manes mix with psilocybin? That's what be like the hard thing to get.
The psilocybin part, yeah, I would imagine that would be, yeah.
That's the hard part. So it's not actually easy to do.
You gotta know a guy, some shit,
or grow it yourself or something. Because even if you were to buy it like at a place that sells it legally, it's still expensive.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, because on the street, what I'm hearing, they sell like 1 gram for like 15, but I think you can go down to like $5 for a gram. Then I saw like a place in Canada or like in Washington where they had like a set up storefront where they were selling like psychedelic mushrooms.
Yeah.
And then the strain that I play with or I use, they were selling for like $7 a gram. Store price.
Hey. So
like if you're doing this stacking formula, you only need like 0.5, 0.3, 0.5. So like $7 would get you like
that's the recommended amount.
2 days. 2 days in the stacking formula. You just need to do like 2 to 3 days a week of that formula. So you can fix your body, because we're in this vehicle and nobody knows how to change the oil and shit.
Man, that's real shit too. Now that you put in that analogy,
a lot of people don't know how to use. I don't really even know how to.
Dude, so many people with like a litany of problems with their body, but nobody don't know how to fix it.
Nobody knows how to.
You just don't ride this shit till the wheels fall off, or
they're driving the car. They don't know how to fix it.
Like I'm pretty sure my check engine light has been on for like fucking 15 years now.
My shit might be on for a long time. All that sleep apnea and breathing wrong and shit from all this bad food I've been eating.
Yeah, for real.
The car is like, hey, you trying to die?
Hey man, we over.
You trying to die?
Slow down.
And then I discovered all these like mushrooms and shit.
Holy shit, that's funny.
All right, so getting into the medicinal mushrooms. So one of it is Reishi Mushrooms. This is associated with the immune functions, support restful sleep and calm the mind, stress, lung support, balance blood sugar levels, and calms the mind. So the history of Reishi mushroom, like it has a 2,000-year-old written record of medicinal texts, most notably by the Chinese monks to promote calmness, as well as to enhance meditation practices. So the Chinese royalty, they used the Reishi mushroom to promote longevity. And then this mushroom's actually known for immortality. Okay. So reishi is like one of the top mushrooms for like medicinals that they use all over the world, to support your life and live a long life. It helps lung support. Like this is one of the ancient medicines that they use like in China. Like a lot of people don't know how powerful reishi mushrooms is. And I have that too. I take that too. So I'm I'm trying to fix this vehicle right now.
Yeah, see, man. So make sure all the fluids are right.
Trying to fix the vehicle. Like whatever I'm stacking way more than 3.
Like, man, I just ran a diagnostic. I need all of it.
Yeah, because like if you really believe like this life is like a game, like your body might be just a vehicle in the game too.
Dude, real shit.
And then if you think of like RPG games, like when you get certain suits and certain like attire where you can equip on a character to get your stats up.
Oh yeah, man, like a ring or like some.
The mushrooms might be the same shit.
RPG style, straight up,
like you're walking to like a marketplace in the forest and shit. You come across a guy that has all these perfect stacking like formulas like for your characters.
+5 intelligence and
dexterity and shit.
Oh shit! So, I mean,
adds 10 years of life.
Dude, you really got to though.
Yeah. Another one is lion's mane mushrooms, and then. Lion's mane it induces like the growth of nerve cells, like what I was saying. Like it helps grow like the nerve cells. That's why it fits perfectly with the psilocybin mushrooms. Okay. That's why it hits perfect like with that stacking formula. Lion's mane, even the Chinese people, I think they play with all plants. Like to be honest, like their medicine system, it's way more advanced than like out here in the West.
In the Western world, yeah.
Yeah, they dabbled with everything.
Yeah, I would imagine because. If you look at the Western world, at least where we're at right now,
we're so young.
We are a baby area. We especially when it comes to America, baby, like what America's like 200 something, 40 years old or something like that, and the rest of the world is thousands of years old. Like with ancient history. I think ancient stuff over here is like Grand Canyon, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like in Yellowstone and shit like that.
It's still old, but the people's new.
The people are new to it. Yes. But the rest of the world has already been established.
New blood.
Way before us.
Native Americans like, what new blood?
Oh my God, we forgot about them.
What new blood, fam?
New what?
Like, be quiet.
Maybe new to you.
All right, so lion's mane also promotes nerve and tissue growth and supports motor function. And people with bad memory from aging, lion's mane can help with better brain functions. Amazing for support in brain functions. Yeah, I said that. But yeah, this one is the one that helps grow like neuron cells in the system. It's very important, lion's mane. And you can buy this off of Amazon. You get 150 pills for like $20.
God damn.
Yeah, I bought that. I'm like, hey.
Deal.
I destroyed a lot of my brain cells sniffing like paint and stuff. And
what?
I'm just playing.
I don't know. Paint do be smelling good, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, paint or chemicals that you be sniffing like during the day, or like even pollution there.
Man, everything. We be sniffing all types of shit, man. I was driving behind a truck on 285 the other day. This asshole, like, we was just standstill traffic.
Inhaling it, huh?
And then like he started going forward. It was like a tow truck. And when he hit the gas, started going forward, all this black smoke came out.
Damn.
And my window was down. As I was rolling up, I was like, this shit's coming right at me. And I thought I missed it, but when I took a breath, I was like, oh. I was like, how much shit I just breathe in from that, man? Like, fuck.
Got all that car ass
I
juice.
probably just cut off like a decade of my life right there, just inhaling that shit.
You lost about 6 months.
Just shaved off 6 months of my life.
But yeah, like eat lion's mane, eat what was that other mushroom? Reishi mushrooms.
Reishi.
All right, the third popular one, turkey tail. Like I was telling you guys, the one that helped that guy mom like defeat breast cancer. Like she's cancer free. She got her she got her boobs. She's straight and she's in her 90s. Like beat that 4th stage cancer. And turkey tail is one of the mushrooms. Turkey tail, it grows on trees, right? You see it everywhere. It grows actually everywhere in the world. You'll see it on like tree trunks. Like it looks like, if you look at it, it looks like logs? It looks like a flap. Yeah, it grows in the trunk. It looks like a flap. It looks like a turkey tail. And there's like you'll see like the end of it is like white, and then you see like 3 different brown colors.
I didn't know that's what it was. I mean, I knew it was like fungus, but
yeah, it's fungus.
Okay, I've seen them on a lot of like
it's everywhere.
Like dead wood and shit like that. Yeah.
You gotta be careful. Like there is certain different types of turkey tail. Like it could be like one that's like white and stuff. You don't know if it's like the same turkey tail. But if you know how it looks like and you're foraging, you'll know what turkey tail looks like. And if you could find it out there, like in the wild, like I'm pretty sure we got in trees, we can find a bunch. You can save so much money on turkey tail by just getting it yourself.
Is there like a specific place on the planet like that would be the best to go in if you want to be like a shroom hunter or something? You know what I'm saying? Like
the whole world. The whole planet. It's like an oyster.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because some spots would be perfect for some type of mushrooms, and then other spots would be better. I mean, that's what makes the world a fun place. It's like
it's everywhere.
Yeah, it comes down to like who can cultivate it, like not naturally.
Yeah,
which you can do this too, unnaturally. You can grow it yourself. You know, for commercial use.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Because there's a lot of work. Trust me, you don't. No. You're better off just buying it or just going out in the woods.
I'd always imagine growing any type of fungi is a pain in the ass. I would assume it's just because it's so delicate when it comes to like trying to grow it.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so another mushroom might be you guys' favorite. It's also my favorite too. Cordyce mushrooms, aka the zombie fungi mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it's an interesting type of mushroom. So like this mushroom is like a type of fungi that is parasitic. So it can go inside the body of like insects, like eat up all the insects, right, and then take over like the skeletal body, and then use it functionally.
Yeah, man.
Like the mushroom can take over
straight up.
Like take over the insect body and just walk around in the skeleton.
Straight up. I was years ago, back when the first Last of Us came out. Was it 2012? And I was super hyped for the game. And I was reading articles about the game, and they talked about one article how what they based the zombies, I'm doing air quotes, zombies of, in The Last of Us was based off of, and it was based off of a specific type of fungi that would infect, I think it was ants.
Yeah.
Somehow the ants would like want to breathe in a spore or whatever, and you'll see like this little tiny little thing grow. At first, like like the ant will start acting kind of funny when it first like gets in contact with the spore, and when the other ants, fucking nature's insane. When the other ants detect that this ant has been infected by the spore, they'll literally push it out the entire.
Yeah, you get kicked out.
Yeah, they kick them out. Like and there's videos of it. Like they'll be like, get out of here, because they're infected, and then because if they go around other ants, they're gonna infect all the other ants, and they know this. So they kick their ass out, and then
because they can go like all the way to the head, and then it can actually explode.
Yeah, and spread it even more. Yeah,
spreading all the spores, like infecting like the whole colony.
Yeah, and they show like eventually the ant died, and then you see like this little fungi growing out of his head.
Yeah,
and it reanimates it back to life, and it's almost like it's a legit zombie.
So crazy.
It's a legit zombie ant, and it's going around spreading the spores until eventually it just winds up dying, and then the fungi still lives and it keeps spreading. It's horrifying. It is.
Well, yeah, what a wild mushroom.
It's insane.
Yeah, and the way it looks like a club head, and when you look at it grown, it looks like a whole bunch of like little baseball bats. You know, like a couple little strings and stuff. Like humans, we can eat it, nothing happens to us.
We're good.
Like what it actually like does for us, like beneficially, like it helps promote like energy. Like, you can use this as like a pre-workout, like a mushroom as a pre-workout drink and shit.
Holy shit.
And it's good for exercise, performance, and for sex. Increases sperms in male and boosts libido in females. So it's like
so if you're trying to have a baby, couples
eat that cordyceps.
Get on it.
Yeah, it promotes like energy. So like you can use that in the bedroom, and cordyceps mushrooms. You can buy it on Amazon also. It's really cheap.
You can get a lot of stuff on Amazon. If you can find it if it's on there.
I take that one every day along with all the other ones.
Okay.
Then another mushroom, another really popular mushroom is known as the king of medicinal mushrooms. It's called the Chaga Mushrooms. Chaga? Yeah, it's not actually like a mushroom, but it's still like a mushroom. But it doesn't have like the traits of a mushroom, because these mushrooms, it almost like grows like inside out, but then it grows like on live trees. Like it's actually killing trees.
Oh,
yeah. So like chaga mushrooms is known as like a disease that trees have. So when you see chaga growing on the mushroom, the tree is dying because that chaga is like, hey, this is my house.
Chaga. So
it's like a kind of like in that world, it's kind of like the evil mushroom, but like when you harvest it, it's like a rock. It's super hard. You know, it's like a stone. Like the way they usually take these mushrooms, they would crush them down and put them in like a tea form, and then they would make it into a tea. So you would usually see like chaga and like tea.
Okay, the reason why I was looking it up, because when you said chaga mushroom, I was like, hold up. I was like, let me look this up, because I go on these walking trails. I live like near Stone Mountain, and there's a shit ton of trails out there. Whole lot of trails, right?
You see a lot of those?
Yes, and when I was going through on the trail one time, they have like this little thing posted up saying like, hey, these are like tumors that grow on the trees that are dying. They are like big as hell. They look kind of nasty when you look at them, but the ones I be seeing on my trail are a lot bigger than this.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what it was though until just now. That's why I was like, when you explain like chaga mushrooms and I was like, hold on. I was like, let me look this up, because it sounds very familiar when I see on my trails. I've never seen them like this black before, like in this one. Yeah. I've never seen them like this, but the ones on my trail are more like the
brown and black.
like the brown, like more of a brownish color to it. Yeah.
But yeah,
so that's what it is. Okay,
it's basically like a disease that trees have and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
But it's good for us though, so you know.
Man, I see a shit ton of them, man.
Shout out to the chaga mushrooms. It's like I remember getting for Christmas one year. I think Bob got me some chaga tea.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, it's a good tea, and it's like it's.
How do you do the tea? Just make it like.
It's known to just regular. It's known to boost immunity, prevent cell damage, reduce inflammation, promotes healthy skin, and soothe digestive conditions. Yeah, it's good for like your skin. It's good for immunity. Like I guess it helps from getting nerve damage. But it's actually known as like the king of medicinal mushrooms.
So the king.
But there's a lot of other health benefits. I just didn't write it down because there's so much shit.
I would imagine so, man.
Yeah. Those are like the main ones that people should be taking. Would be like chaga, lion's mane, cordyceps, reishi mushrooms. Yeah, those are like the 4 main ones that you can take daily, and it can help really like start turning your life around. And psilocybin psychedelics. So the last but not least will be like psychedelic mushrooms, the magical mushrooms of the jungle, of the forest.
The magical.
Yeah, but we talk about that one so much. But you had an article on it, right?
On which one? The psilocybin?
Psilocybin being legal like in Colorado or something?
Yeah, so there was just like some stuff I came across. I don't know, the universe is funny. Before you approached me about the topic of this episode, I just came across something about how the state of Colorado is actually they're gonna put it on their ballots in November for psychedelic medicinal purposes in Colorado, as far as for like treatments and all that. So it's not gonna be like legalization, because I'm assuming a lot of people who probably aren't for this in Colorado are thinking, man, so we go now. First we got marijuana, now everybody can just buy shrooms. Like, no, it's not gonna be like that. I think it's gonna be more of like for therapeutic purposes and less of like just selling it to anybody on the street. It's gonna be, from my understanding, it's gonna be regulated.
Yeah, they would do it like in a type of like a mental therapy, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be like, it's gonna, I think it's like a psychedelic therapy or however,
like a session, like
sessions. Yeah, you have to go in like through kind of like going to see a chiropractor. I would assume like a schedule will be set up for you to take this medicine. Go in and, because
actually they're doing like a thing, the same thing like with ketamine, where they have legal places that do like ketamine therapy, where you get injected with ketamine and then you go to like some type of psychedelic effect.
Yeah,
but this is all done like through like the pharmaceuticals and stuff, because they're actually trying to control the narrative of like psychedelic therapy. And I think that's why I also was shocked why ketamine was the one that they legalized first, because you can actually go to Cali and they have like these places where you can do it legally, like through like a physician and stuff. And then you go in for certain sessions. I was like, and then they actually have that out here in Georgia too. And I was shocked. I was like, because
really?
I was asking questions. I saw the ad, and I asked like the admin, like, "Hey, is this legal like in Georgia?" Like, yeah, like it's legal. Like, you know, like you can call and talk about it, and then we can set you up for like a session. I was like, holy shit! Because I was asking, I was like, okay, like this is fully legal, like to treat patients out here, like with the psychedelic study, like through ketamine.
Yeah. And
the whole time I'm thinking, like, where's mushrooms on the chart? Like, why hasn't this like hit the the waves of actually treating people naturally? Because ketamine is still like a drug that's been artificially created like in a lab. It's not natural, like it's not like shrooms.
No, it's man-made.
Shit. Like I heard like you can get into like deep psychedelic trips too, like with ketamine, but I just don't know enough about it to actually have like an opinion.
Yeah.
I actually want to go through it just to see,
just to test it out.
Yeah, act like I'm mentally damaged. I mean, I might be, but shit.
I think we all are. I really think we all are on some level. We should all go through at least this session. I think everybody needs to go through a session.
Yeah, I want to see how they do it. I want to see how it feels, because they do like the whole therapy session, like how you would do like a psychedelic trip.
Yeah.
Where they would induce you, like I saw what they did. They did it with like an injection. They would induce you through injection, and then they put the blindfolds on you. And then they have the physician like sitting right next to you.
So they mainlining it, like
yeah, they sit right next to you, just like this. And then you have the blindfolds on, and then
they just observe you, just make sure you ain't.
They're just watching you, like.
Make sure you ain't having a stroke.
Oh, you crying? Oh, you must be hitting some deep emotions there. My dad came back.
He's here right now.
I don't know if it's him or somebody playing his character. That would be like me. I would ask questions like, "Hey,
I don't know if he's wearing my dad's skin.
Are you really grandma?" Or because I barely do it like that in real life. So, why are you playing like my loving grandma now?
So the Colorado polls, because they're showing conflicting polls right now in Colorado on psychedelic becoming, actually being used out there in the state,
mainstream for like medical.
Yeah, it says because there's an article from marijuana moments. There's one part of the article says it says for both surveys, respondents were given a description of the measure which seeks to legalize possession of psychedelics like psilocybin and ibogaine for adults 21 and older, and would also allow healing centers where psilocybin can be administered for therapeutic purposes.
What? They're playing with ibogaine too?
Yeah.
You know what that is?
No, I have no idea, but it's two. They got two different ones on here.
So ibogaine is like this root that's found like in Africa.
Okay.
It's like a root that they would take and then they put it like, they mix it up, I guess like a tea.
Okay.
And then you trip off of this root plant in Africa.
Oh, shit. So yeah, they got psilocybin and ibogaine.
I'm shocked. Like they would actually play with ibogaine like that.
Is it serious or?
I would think it's a little more difficult to acquire something like that because
of
I guess the nature of growing it or whatever.
Yeah, and it would have to come from Africa, I'm assuming, off of environment purposes, I guess. Or
yeah, I don't know like particularly. I just know like it's the type of root that produces like a psychedelic effect and shit. It's just like peyote. You know, the cactus.
Yeah. Okay.
The cactus that the Native Americans they use for their ceremonies and stuff, which the U.S. government made illegal, saying they cannot use these type of psychedelics in their ceremonies, and they got so pissed. They're like,
but then they said like they was using
you trying to make our shit illegal, like
on our reservation. I think it was too.
That shit is so sad because you will see like these greenhouses, right? And then within the greenhouses, you would see kind of like little gel cells, and within those little gel cells are psychedelic cactus plants.
They got them in their cell?
Peyote, where it's like you need a special key to open up that shit.
Somebody going to sit in the darkness and go bad?
I don't know.
A dungeon?
I don't know, man. It's just like the toad venom, like the frog.
Yeah.
It's all over nature, man. You cannot
secretes it out of its skin, and you gotta like, all right, get a little drop of it.
When people found out like the type of frog that produces that type of psychedelic and shit, a lot of those frogs went missing.
I'm not surprised.
It was like, hey, have you seen my frog? People found out and they harvest that shit. Like they farmed it, man. And they're like, hey, like the people that lives on the land, like, hey, stop fucking. You can take that shit, but don't fucking take it and kill it. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Shell Shock says in the chat, Colorado has been taking a lot of progressive measures that have actually been working out for a positive net gain. Real shit. And it also is very, I remember I was living in Colorado when they legalized marijuana, changed the whole game. It changed everything. And there was all these documentaries coming out, how basically families were making pilgrimages out there for the most part, just to like the kid having like some kind of ailment or whatever, and taking some kind of like liquid THC or whatever would help their kid and whatnot. And also too, because a lot of that money went back to building like a monorail system, fixing potholes. Like that money fixed up, man.
Yeah, they love that shit, right?
It changed a lot of shit, man. The area I used to live in Colorado, like when I first got my first apartment in Colorado, don't even look the same anymore. They got a monorail system that goes through it and shit. I'm like super jealous. I used to have to walk everywhere.
Bullet trains.
Yeah, like they got shit like this, man. So much stuff in that area.
They just gotta like. The government is always gonna figure out what's the best way they can do it, and they can get like the biggest.
How can we get a benefit? What would benefit us? Because we ain't doing this shit just to help people with these ailments.
I would think like the biggest one would be like marijuana first.
You would think.
Like try to get that legalized in every single state. And then the next step would be like the mental therapy stuff. Yeah. Like with psychedelics. Like, hey, all your kids that's grown up like on the iPads, they need help now.
I think a lot of times too,
they're broken.
Well, a lot of states too don't want to legalize marijuana because there's a profit in making for people getting locked up for having it, and they get in the jail system, and then that's a whole other situation going on. But yeah, you got one side that don't
like they have nobody to lock up now.
Like yeah, it's like once you start legalizing, it's kind of like how can we keep this? Because they make money off of this. Yeah, the prison industrial complex system is like, well, damn, if we legalize marijuana, how can we keep locking up people? Like,
what a dirty.
You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking fucked up system. They would rather just like it shows choose the greed of some.
What a dirty way to play with people.
It is. It really
like,
is.
If it's all legal, who we gonna lock up now?
Yes, Shellshock says in the chat, seizure disorders. Yes, I saw a documentary years ago with this some little kid. Parents bought them over all the way from like Maine or some shit, and they bought them to Colorado because they had like seizures. And then once they were taking the liquid THC, seizures would go away. They had to take it like in doses, I guess, whatever. But yeah, man, they finding different ways, man. But they want people to people to go bankrupt at the hospital. They didn't spend money in the medical center and then have medical bankruptcy. Then you got to pay for cancer treatment and This is actually a way cheaper route in helping a lot of stuff. And a lot of people in the government don't want that shit.
Yeah, what is it called? Like the one that's like, it helps them, but it's not the stuff that makes you high. What's the word? It's not the THC, it's the other one.
I know. Oh, fuck.
I know Shell Shock knows. Like, he's on it.
It's not THC, but it's like a little tiny percentage of it. It's driving me nuts right now.
Yeah, because it's like, it's been thrown around. The word has been thrown around so much.
CBD.
CBD.
There you go. Woo.
CBD. Yeah.
Yes.
13th Amendment. Yeah.
Yes, the 13th Amendment. Yes. If you guys haven't seen that documentary, it's on Netflix. Look it up. It shows them. It shows what they be locking up people for drug usage, which has been shown that it can help medically, but yeah, you got some greedy fucking politicians.
Yeah, they gotta stop locking these people up just using the drugs. Like, they're just using it.
It's like, stop.
They're not selling it. Like, stop. If you get caught with drugs and you're just like, hey man, I just bought this, I'm just trying to use it, they should not be locked up.
Shellshock also said an official in Arizona literally said that without prison labor, the state economy would collapse. Man, and that is sad. Oh my god, they really be trying to use prisoners to become like the new workforce, because they started to realize how a lot of people started complaining about like we're not getting paid enough. The union, they started to fight back and like with the unions and not unionizing and shit. And so like you see a lot of talks from people with money who got like hands in a cookie jar from wanting to create like profiting off of like this business type shit of stuff being built, or say buildings or whatever. They're starting to talk about want to do like a program to where they just use prisoners.
Yeah.
And you pay them $1 a day to work their ass off instead of
sell panties.
Yeah, it just basically to where, because what prison gonna complain about? They was like, oh man, these work environments are hard. They're gonna just say, well, you should have thought about that before you committed your crime. Keep working. They wouldn't like do what they want. They want like a slave labor brought back again in a lot of ways. They don't want working class people fight for this shit.
They should let them work though.
I'm fine with that too. I'm perfectly fine with it. But they want to be almost, from what I've been hearing recently, they're trying to outsource it to like prisoners to be working like, but doing construction now.
Hey,
which I'm fine with that, but at the same time, it's like, how about we focus more on the regular people too? And
I say, like, could we get like some of like the whole like prison system to change a little bit to get those guys to start doing like like internet work,
like IT shit,
like promoting like stuff for like companies, like helping like like be like the branding page or
run a social media page.
Yeah,
a lot of them got cell phones. Page. I don't see why not. Shit, a lot of them got cell phones. Fuck it. They all have cell phones.
We get Ricardo out there like helping our podcast out, trying to push it out everywhere, every single platform in the world.
And if you want to, as the one who wants to play Ricardo, you can put money on his books. So pay for his commissary, as long as he keeps up with your social media page.
As long as like his
okay, I would be okay. You know,
if he help us, like like he's getting paid like automatically through like like whatever system like people use, like hashtag whatever where they tagged his name, or they use his coupon code 10% off whatever.
Coupon code prisoner number 86862324.
Inmate cell block 12 or whatever.
Shellshock says getting too woke, Chris. Yeah, that's why I was about to go down that rabbit hole real quick. But
they might as well do something. Like they in there like you have somebody in there like just not doing nothing. That makes no sense.
Yeah. Okay,
I would go crazy too. Like, imagine just waking up doing nothing. Like, I'd rather be like helping somebody's podcast page out. Like, and then I get my kicks off. Oh shit, we're getting a lot of.
Hey, I get paid.
We're getting the numbers up. I'm helping these 2 black kids out here in Atlanta.
I'm helping these 2 brothers out. They're trying to get something started. And
2 guys out here. Hey,
they give me $5 a day to put on my commissary. Like,
get them that new Coke machine. I mean, I don't know.
So I don't know what they can have in jail. But yeah, so back what I was saying before with Colorado, it says it would be the first of its kind. It says it would be a first of its kind law in the U.S. if approved by voters. Because remember, they're voting for this in November in Colorado. I'm gonna keep an eye on this because I'm kind of excited to see where to go. But the limited polling that's available has produced divergent results. Because right now they're coming across a thing where Colorado is kind of like a mixed bag with psilocybin becoming legalized for therapeutic purposes, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, these are just pollings. These aren't actually the final results. We'll see in November what's really happening, because polling sometimes can be kind of like weird and floppy sometimes. But they're showing that right now that almost like 60% of people in Colorado are kind of like 60%. It says definitely yes is like 30%, and then 17% says probably yes. Undecided is 5%, but then you got the other side is saying like as a total is like 60% of people want it to be a thing, and also 31% and undecided people you got taking a factor. But yeah, but that's good. But it's gonna be Proposition 122.
So do you think it's gonna pass?
Yes. Yes. I think because Colorado is just from when I've seen it, and this is going based off my experience when I was living there, when the whole, like, everybody was talking about, like, yo, they're about to legalize marijuana, and then it happened. I seen it with my own eyes. These dispensaries will open up left and right, man. Like, the more dispensaries than Starbucks out there. On every corner, and they're out there. And
so what's the states where they have it, like, fully legalized?
I'm not even sure.
Like, or recreationally?
I think California was the first, if I'm not mistaken. The first one to do, like, recreational. And
like,
then,
without a medical badge or
yeah,
nothing?
just like, hey, I just want to smoke it for fun. And
so California,
and
Colorado,
I think Colorado second, and then
Washington, right?
Seattle, I think. Yeah, Seattle's another place. Yeah, I know New York decriminalized it, so now you can't get locked up for having it in possession. So that's a step in the right direction. I don't think it's fully legalized, but also I think New York did change it too, where they can no longer piss test you at work for marijuana, because it's kind of like, because it's with one thing with alcohol, you could tell, like, time can tell a lot easier when you're drinking alcohol versus like having THC in your system. So alcohol is easy to break down the time of when you started drinking and when you stopped drinking, versus with THC, it's kind of like, man, it has in the system, but we can't determine if it was like 5 minutes ago or 5 days ago. It just kind of sits there. So I think New York was one of the states that kind of was like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of that too, because these people shouldn't be disqualified for having going for a job just because they smoked marijuana, but they did it 5 days ago, because that doesn't even make it'd be different if they walk in high, but not something they did 5 days ago. So yeah, there's logical steps in that too they're trying to take, but I'm hoping Colorado does pass. I feel like they will. Got my fingers crossed on it, because all it takes is one state. I don't even live in Colorado anymore. I don't benefit from this at all. Most people listening to this podcast, or at all as a grand scheme of things, it's not gonna really affect their lives if this gets passed or not. But it's a step in the right direction to kind of spread it out a little bit more. Kind of like, all right, this is the first wave of the many to help out people with these, help people for the most part. Not even for like people thinking then like, oh man, then people just party, take shrooms. Like, no, this is for like,
yeah, it ain't.
If anyone's ever tried it, it's not that type of thing.
It's definitely not that type of thing.
Not that type of thing. It's not something you would do every day.
Yeah, it's not. It
doesn't have anything. It doesn't even have that. Even for somebody who might have an addiction, I don't think it would even have that thing to like.
It's definitely not.
Yeah, it doesn't have that. Yeah, addictive to it, to where like, I'll be doing shrooms every day, and no, it's
yeah, it's like one of those things like you have to go to the doctor, but you're always pushing it to the side. Mm-hmm. But then when you finally go to the doctor, you're like, you get that relief and shit. Yeah. But you don't want to go back to the doctor.
Yeah, I'm good for a minute.
It's like that type of like drug. It's not the type of drug where you're like, oh, I can't wait. You scratch your neck. Oh, I can't wait to do it. No, it's like it's one of those shit like, you're supposed to do it to get help, but it's not one of those things where you're you can't wait to go back and do.
No, this is one of the things.
I never got that feeling.
No, I've never even got the urge. I thought it was weird at first, and I didn't have an urge to want to do it again. I was kind of
I didn't. Like, even after I had like these majestic,
these mind blowing,
where I saw so much shit. I woke up out the next day. I was like, I don't want to go there again right away. That's because it was so intense. It's so powerful.
Yeah,
it's so powerful. I was like, it's not a place you just go like just casually.
No, man. But it's so vivid that you'll never forget it.
I'll never forget it.
You'll never forget it.
Yeah.
That's one thing I started realizing over time. I was like, man, like, and I don't do it as often at all. I do it like at times. I'm like, okay, but when I really have time and I've taken care of everything in life, I'm like, all right, I literally have nothing to do. I'm like, okay, we got the little bit I got left, boom, boom, just chill.
Yeah.
Put some more.
If you're lost, you're confused, you want some answers, you might want to try it.
Yeah, you can swing in the right direction.
Yeah.
Is that one of the things that's going to like bring you into like I can't say depression. It was the ego check or whatever. It could probably get the most of that.
Like the ego death?
Yeah, for sure for that.
Yeah,
that's not really like depression, but it's kind of like take a step back.
It's really like, it's just to humble you, dissolve your ego.
Yeah.
Like whatever the fuck you think you are, it will take that shit, destroy it. And you have to take a high dose though.
Then
that's the one thing.
You have to be the one responsible.
You might want to be on LSD does that. It takes you on that. It breaks your whole fucking ego down. It shows all your ego in every single angle.
Yeah, you might need somebody watching over you.
The thought of like what you think you are, everything. The dude that's looking behind you, there's a dude behind him always looking at him. There's like every single personality checking each other.
Yeah,
you're all checking each other. So like you can't. It's almost like you can't fuck around because yourself is checking yourself like a million times.
Yeah, because I never really got that deep, but there was the one time I did. It was kind of like the first thing that popped in my brain when I was coming down was like, what the fuck am I doing in my life? Like I just kind of like I'm realizing like I'm not happy right now. I need to kind of adjust some things. I'm just going through the motions of life. I'm not really living it. And after a time, I'm like, all right, let me just go on walks and shit. Like something as minute as that. Like just change it up a bit.
It'll definitely get you out of that pattern that you're usually going through.
Yeah,
because it'll open up. It's like it'll open up like different doorways for you to see things different. Because you're seeing things from a different perspective now. So you're understanding things like differently. So then this will lead you into like different activities or whatever that will lead you into like a new pathway, a new lifeline, a new
to be the best you can be. I guess.
Yeah, it'll lead you to different doors and stuff.
That's like, the best way I can explain it.
Like somebody who never done like jiu-jitsu or would never even imagine it, and then they're like, "Hey, I wonder
I've always wanted to
what it's like to do like jiu-jitsu," and then they take like a class, and they're like, "Holy shit, I fucking love this shit." So it's like that. Because it opens up you to try new things, open up the possibilities of different, if you take this door instead of that door the whole time. Because you're always taking that same door. And what happens when you take that same door? The same shit happens every single time. So,
how about you try left? Like just try the left door for once.
How about take that left turn one time?
Let's see if I like it.
Yeah, that's like the whole thing. It's just trying to get you to experience this life like as a life. Because you did come here to experience life. You're basically living life. You're not supposed to come here
and work yourself to the fucking
grave. A pattern like a rat and stuff. But then when people actually realize that, they start doing a lot of new stuff.
But I think too is like when a lot of people.
But you actually don't even need to do psychedelics to even reach that. People, they come to this conclusion
by
on
themselves.
Their own.
Yeah, eventually people would be like, man, all I'm doing is my checks are just going to paying bills. I'm not going on vacation. I'm not doing shit. Like everything is just going to cover all this shit. I'm not really living. And that's when people probably turn to drinking and drugs and shit because out of depression for a lot of that stuff.
Yep.
It's a bad rabbit hole to go down, man.
But yeah, that's all I got.
But yeah, that was it. For the most part, it's up in there in Chicago, in Colorado. Like I said, like if everybody was interested in the article, just go to Marijuana Moment. It's a brand new article. Talks about how you got some of these people who are coming forward who are basically like this psilocybin like therapist type people saying like, look, they're kind of missing out on the opportunity to actually help people if they don't vote for this. Because America, most people always want to talk about the mental health of America. Like, man, we need to do something for our troops. They done went and fought for these wars, and now they mess up in the head. But you see, like, a lot of times the government don't want to do shit for none of these damn troops. They all mess up in the head. They want to cut fundings. And hell, there was just recently where all these politicians voted against a bill to actually help soldiers that was in Iraq who was breathing in toxic air through burn pits. So these politicians aren't really trying to help. But it seems like most people, most people, not politicians, everyday working people are on the same page of these people do need some type of help. And this is another avenue of, if the government can't help them out, then this is a way better option for.
Yeah, we can take care of our own community, like on ourselves. We don't have to wait for no bigger entity to come in. Like we can take care of our own community, like here, like easily ourselves and stuff. And then if like other people, if they see like, oh, okay, like this model's working, they would take over. They would take their community and they would take care of their own place and stuff. If more people see like that, how we gotta start getting along taking care of each other, helping each other out.
Got to
put that whole greed stuff away. Like, everybody's living their life like everybody else, and we just gotta help each other out.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, even on a political level, we all running on the same damn treadmill, doing this work grind and shit.
We can, like, zone it out.
Yeah.
To, like, whatever you can control.
Oh yeah.
Just cut the internet off and then control, like, your whole neighborhood.
Oh, but the internet, man. Oh, I think we hit a point where I was like, can I really go through a day without internet? I don't know, man. That is, I do need to take a break like that though. Just
if the aliens, if they hear me like right now and they can control this, shut it down.
Right, hold on. Wait till I get home.
Shut it down.
Wait till I get home.
Shut it down right now.
I don't want you to cut off no traffic lights on the way home.
Roscoe, alien out there in Channel 5.
But even so, and also before I wrap this up, even Jared Polis, who is the Colorado governor, he was recently asked about the prospects of enacting psychedelic reform in the state, and he said that he was actually working on a bill that would actually support a bill of the idea of decriminalizing the substance altogether. So even if you get caught having it on your person, cops pull you over, they can't take you to jail for it. At the very best, they probably just give you a ticket, depending on how much you have on you, but you're actually going to jail because that's more money you got to pay out of your pocket. And getting locked up, and then you got court dates and shit, but you got a job. But it's a mess. So they're trying to do something like, at least the governor right now is trying to maybe lean that direction. I don't know if he's just saying this to kind of like, hey, voters, vote for me in November because da-da-da-da. But he's on record as saying that he does support it. So at least the legalization of it, so people not getting locked up. So
stop locking people up.
But yeah, that's it for that.
Shell says, hold on, I'm playing Road to the Show. I need my internet. Yeah, let's cut off the internet first, like in Texas. Like, cut off those people from the internet.
In Texas?
We need the people in Texas to stop posting.
Just stop everything.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that's this episode on the medicinal mushrooms and psychedelics and marijuana and all that other stuff.
Oh, yeah. Man, we covered the whole time. The whole shit.
We did. That's all we need.
I don't know how we do it, man. We went on a roll with this, man. Like,
it's too easy.
It's too easy. 90 minutes, easy.
It's too easy. I think we can do like a 6-hour show easy, too. But who would listen that long, right?
Oh, man. It'd be a lot of beer. It'd be a lot of empty beer cans around here.
I think we could do 8 hours. Like,
oh, my God. Yes. I would be able to do it if I didn't have a job. I would be down to do it, honestly.
Fuck that. We call off the next day.
Just fuck it. 8 hours. I am at work.
We call off for the whole week.
8 hours a day.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us.
Oh, yeah.
We're episode 120.
Yes, sir.
We'll catch everybody next week. Peace out. Adios.
See you guys.
It's not really good to know this.